What's happening?
I'm Nick,
I'm Eric.
and we're talking Fair Sports. Fun week of football.
Yes, it
I'm
is.
glad it's back on. We're
Hell
here. Before we get started, I want to say go to Tabby's Coffee. Check out Tabby's Coffee in the Everett Library. And if you're watching us on Game Changer, go check out Talking Fair Sports and vice versa, and YouTube channels and Twitters and all that stuff. And then, I don't know, here, you explain what's going on here.
Oh, okay. We're also doing another thing this week. If you want to or can donate to a fund of Assistant Fire Chief Christian Johnson from the Okanagan Fire District. He was really badly burned fighting a wildfire, and the department family, they could really use your donations. So we have a address in the what do you call that? Description?
In the description, and we also have all the information that you would send the donations to them.
Right.
And firefighting obviously is a very hard job, so we try to support all of those type of people. So if anybody can make any kind of donations to that fund, please go donate to that fund.
Absolutely.
And support that family and those firefighters.
And especially, he's and his whole crew is all volunteers, so they very little to no pay,
So,
just because it was the right thing to do for them.
So we have the link in the information in the description. I can also add the link of the article in the comments, which I'm doing now. So you can check that out. And let's talk some football.
Yes.
All right. So what'd you see this week that really stood out? Let's just pick out like one or two things.
What really stood out to me, I was surprised by the Colts.
Colts. Okay. Why the Colts?
Now that I say it out loud, I'm like, well, okay, yeah, they lost Andrew Luck, but the rest of the team is incredibly talented. So, the fact that they did well actually probably shouldn't have surprised me in retrospect, but it did.
They came really, really close with the Chargers there, man. Jacoby Brissett did not have a terrible day.
No.
I wouldn't say it was phenomenal if I recall correctly, but
the highlights I saw, it was definitely the team rather than his necessarily his skill.
Right.
It was also really cool. I'm going to switch up real quick. And
Marlon Mack had 174 yards rushing and a touchdown.
And go with, it was also really fun to see Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, bro. I loved that. As soon as he came up, I don't like seeing Nick Foles go down because I like Nick Foles.
I do too, and I was really looking forward to seeing him shine down there and get out of that Carson Wentz shadow.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see him do well, but it was also phenomenal seeing Gardner Minshew still with that stupid ass mustache. I could say that.
Yeah, it's good seeing some local boy from the.
He's not really local. He only played for WSU for one season.
But hey, you know what? I like seeing it. I like it. I actually put out a little thing about him on our Facebook page, if I can find it. But yeah, he didn't do too bad. I was pretty impressed with it.
Yeah, for being your first year, the first game, and you're not you might be expecting to play if they have a huge lead, but other than that, you're just like, my last game was the Apple Cup?
Yeah, right. Gardner Minshew's completion percentage was 88 Sunday, was the highest NFL history for any player with at least 15 passes making their NFL debut. is also a franchise single record among players with at least 25 pass attempts. So Gardner Minshew out here, I like
Yeah.
it.
He's a good quarterback.
Yeah, I like it.
And
that
if
was
we're
really
going to
cool.
go with completion attempts, be hard pressed not to mention Derek Carr too.
Derek Carr did really well as well.
I mean, I fell asleep or I went to bed before the end of the fourth quarter, but when I went to bed, he missed 2 passes.
Yeah, I fell asleep during that game also, but he was playing well when I was watching it.
Yeah,
That was good stuff. I was really impressed with the Oakland Raiders. One of the things that really stood out for me was Darrell Bevell out here still screwing over some teams. Poor Matt Patricia getting burned at the stake because of Darrell Bevell making a timeout. They got the first down, but he had called a timeout, and then they ultimately end up tying the Cardinals. I don't even think Kyler Murray looked that good until the fourth quarter. So
I can agree
big
with that.
disappointment from Kyler Murray, and then an even bigger disappointment for the Lions not closing it out. That was one of the crazy things that I saw over the week. And then the Seahawks squeak out a win, playing their type of football, but still eyebrow raising. I don't remember what the exact numbers on it were, but the Seahawks were the highest, or the Bengals were the highest throughout the week that during a pass rush did they get to the quarterback. At least like touch him or pressure him. And I think it was like 50% of the time Russell Wilson dropped back, he was under duress. So not impressive with the O-line, but, Britt went down, a couple people went down. People had to get switched back and forth.
I mean, I'm not going to – I got to fix this
It's
thing.
It's week one.
It's week one, and to your point, or not point, but the fact that Britt went down, I think that Posick stepped in and did reasonably well in his absence. It's not like they were without a center or anything. But they also, I forget who the first guy was that went out, but they only had like 2 backup offensive linemen.
Right.
And within the first quarter, they're like, all right, well, he's in, so now we got 1.
Yeah. So that was, I think he did pretty well for, stepping up in a position where he doesn't normally play.
Well, Posick started as a center.
Right.
But, and also, what was it, 2 series later, Britt came back.
Right.
I mean, he wasn't out the whole game.
So, what was your thoughts on the Seahawks game?
Honestly, the most troubling part for me, the offensive line, but, that's been the tale of the Seahawks for the past, 4 seasons?
Right.
And other than one of them, they've managed to make it to the postseason, so not super worried about that. The part that did worry about me was the secondary defense.
Yeah, so Tedrick Thompson, that play where he went up and tried to swat the ball instead of making a play, that was, come on, man. Pete Carroll got questioned on the podium a couple times this week about what they were going to do about Tedrick, and he just kind of ducked the question and didn't really answer it. So I don't know what the deal with the secondary is going to be, but it's definitely got some questions.
Oh, for sure. And I think another big thing that you're seeing across the league, and not just in Seattle or in Oakland, for example,
right,
is that the rules now, over the past 2 years, have changed so much in the NFL that they're too different from college football. And so when you get these rookies that you're depending on, and for some teams, you're drawing unnecessary flags and penalties and all these other things. That's completely different from what you were talking about.
Right.
And that's I've noticed that from a couple games already this season, where it's like a year ago that was a perfectly legal play. This year it's not. All of the older guys have realized that, adapted to it, but the guys coming out of college haven't yet.
Right.
Just like that, the kid from Oakland,
Abrams, who is out for the rest of the season, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, he injured. I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, Jonathan Abrams is out for the rest of the season.
Damn.
With an injury.
That's
I think
unfortunate.
I think it was something to his leg, but I'm trying to just share stuff real quick. So.
Well, yeah, probably because he freaking broke that one dude's neck or some damn thing like that.
Yeah.
Did you hear anything about how he's doing?
Yeah. So he's doing fine.
Really?
Yeah. So it apparently looked a lot worse than it was.
And when they carted him off and he was wrapped up like the freaking mummy, I mean, yeah, you have to do that with spinal injuries, but Jesus.
Yeah, most definitely. From what I'm understanding, he showed up at practice, didn't do contact, and is, walking around and he's good. I don't know if he's going to play next week, but
at least he can walk and
still going to be playing
like
in this season, I believe. So, but Jonathan Abrams will not be. So,
which is unfortunate. I like him.
Yeah.
I mean, he reminded me of that aggressiveness of like a Cam Chancellor or something like that, and just lay him out.
Right.
If I don't have anything else to do, I'm just gonna hit him.
Most definitely.
And I like that.
And yeah, and I love those high contact guys. The problem with this is that the league's changing, and you run into guys where the cornerbacks end up having to be very less aggressive and worried about hitting the guy so much, and then getting that flag for aggressiveness or whatever.
Right. I don't know. I mean, to me, it's a whole social commentary, but I'm
most definitely. Most definitely.
But it's football. It's a contact sport.
I agree with that.
Like, if you decide to play it, you assume the risks.
Most definitely.
Sorry. I mean, if I'm out there pouring concrete and I'm like, I got screwed up lungs because I was pouring concrete. We need to make concrete safer. Stop that.
Right. That's silly.
Make your own personal decisions. You're a grown-ass man.
Most definitely.
Play the game. And this is a problem that has been plaguing football pretty much since its inception, because I don't know if anybody else knew this, but Teddy Roosevelt was actually one of the people that sat down in Congress because people were actually dying in football games. And it took Congress to make football safer.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's a fun little fact. So now you know. All right. Well, how do you feel about moving on into our picks?
Let's hit it.
All right. So before I start getting into the picks, if you guys did not watch last week, we introduced for the first time, and by the way, happy 1-year anniversary of doing Talk Interference Sports.
Jesus. Never mind.
Yeah, we introduced the coin.
The coin.
Where we do our picks and we try to beat a 50-50 pick versus a coin. And so we agreed that because of that tie, that we're going to call it. So I ended up with 12 correct. You ended up with 9.
Okay.
And the coin ended up with 6.
Hey, we beat the coin.
We beat the coin this week. We beat the coin this week.
We'll see how it ends up over the season. But.
Yeah. So we will continue playing against the coin, and I'll continue to record it, and we'll go along. But as of right now, the coin has 6 points. Eric has 9, and I have 12. So let's try to continue on our picks here. Let's go with Thursday night football. It'll be the Buccaneers visiting the Panthers in Carolina. This is the home team. This is the visiting team. And we're going to pick the coin first, and they're picking the Buccaneers. Now you go ahead and let me know what you're going to pick.
You know what? I like the way Cam Newton was looking over the weekend.
Really?
I'm gonna go with the Panthers.
You liked what he was doing?
I didn't hate it.
Okay. I mean,
I liked it better than what was happening with the Bucs.
you know, I can see your argument here, but I thought Cam Newton did pretty poorly last week. I felt like he was missing throws that he shouldn't have been missing. I don't think he made a pass over 15 yards with a completion.
Well, look at how well all that little dink and dunk stuff has worked for teams like, maybe not the Panthers or the Patriots, but you can death by 1,000 little paper cuts.
I agree with that.
Okay. You can throw a 10-yard pass to a victory.
I think the main reason why the Panthers even stayed in it was because of Christian McCaffrey. That's just my opinion, though.
I will agree with that. He was a workhorse.
Yeah.
But he can catch the ball.
My question
is, he can run the ball.
My question for you is on this is, are the 49ers established or the Bucs just that bad? Jameis Winston, by the way, I put a little thing out on our Facebook as well. Jameis Winston is on a 12-game losing streak on the road, I believe. I think it's a 12-game losing streak. That is also going to take a factor into my picking.
Yeah, and the Buccaneers are on the road.
Yeah, 12-game losing streak on the road, on the line Thursday night. 12 games. I'm just trying to get you some perspective here,
If you're going to go, 49ers offense and Buccaneers offense, you also have to take one of those touchdowns away because Richard Sherman scored
right
a touchdown too.
Right.
So you're looking at 24-17.
Yeah. So you're taking the Panthers then?
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at offense versus 49ers, Buccaneers, it's closer. It's a closer game. And from what I saw from the Panthers and from the highlights I saw from the Buccaneers, it would appear to me that the Panthers are the better one.
How's it going, Tiffany? Thanks for saying what's up.
What's happening?
I totally agree with you. And Jameis Winston, like I said, is on a 12-game losing streak on the road. And as much as I didn't like how well the Panthers did last week, I do not believe that Christian McCaffrey can't run all over the Buccaneers defense. So that's why I'm picking the Panthers. So, Coin picks Tampa. We pick Carolina. Let's move on. Game 2. Ravens versus the Cardinals.
Give me the Cardinals.
Yeah. Give you the Cardinals?
Oh, I'm sorry. Jesus. No,
boy.
Give me the Ravens.
After that game that the Ravens had last week, insanity. That was crazy.
I'm sorry. It was the bird for sure.
Lamar Jackson went off.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson had one hell of a game. Looked great. And I would like to see him continue that the rest of the season. The dude was insane.
I don't think he's going to.
No way he's going to throw 5 touchdowns over and over and over and over and over again.
Well, okay.
And we said that about Pat Mahomes last year, though.
We did.
So, maybe. But
I doubt it.
I think
But I
he
think
ran for
Baltimore.
13 yards too. Like he did 99% of his damage in the air. He didn't run very much in this game.
But you know he can.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And I believe playing against the Cardinals, he's going to run a ton against them.
He might be the quarterback running back.
He also won Offensive Player of the AFC in Week 1.
Well, good for him.
So I'm going to say that they keep the ball rolling and they stomp the Cardinals. So Baltimore is my pick.
Yeah. Despite my tongue slip, yes, I'm also picking the Ravens.
All right, so here's the coin. The coin picks the visiting team, which is the Cardinals. Man, all right. Let's go to the next game. Cowboys visiting the Redskins. Here's the numbers. Apparently, they have the number 3 offense in the league right now, the Cowboys. They are on the road. They don't do very well on the road last season, excuse me. But this looks like a different different type of headed group. These guys looked a lot better on Sunday than what I expected, though they were at home and they play very, very, very dominant at home. They are a very dominant team at home. Ronald Jones, Bucks, what you think? I was impressed with him. I liked him. I think he's going to keep the ball going, but probably not against the Panthers. But I thought he did well, and I think he's going to have a pretty good season. So the Redskins had a really poor game last week, if I'm not mistaken.
They started off strong.
And then just really crapped the bed at the end, didn't they?
Yeah.
They gave up so much in the fourth quarter and third and fourth quarter, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think
they had the lead.
The first 20. They
scored the first 20 points in the first half.
Yeah.
And then gave up 14 in the third and then 11 in the fourth. Yeah, man. I think once Philadelphia figured out what was going on and what their issues were, they came in at halftime and pulled a Mike Leach and made adjustments.
Oh, well, that is what halftime is for. His adjustments.
As Mike Leach would say. Thoughts on Antonio Brown's going to the Pats? I think it's an awesome situation for Antonio Brown. That's great.
Yeah, if
good
he's
for him.
Going to be allowed to play.
Yeah, if he's going to be allowed to play. I'm not going to touch on that one, though. Situations, whatever.
Right.
But if he ends up going and actually playing this season, I mean, I know he's on the roster, so he's there. But if he ends up playing and he ends up being able to play the entire season, the Patriots are already a threat. They're going to be dominant this year. That's just where I'm at with that. But yeah, the Redskins had the lead and were whomping on the Philadelphia Eagles there. I don't know, man. The Cowboys 35-17 against the Giants. But that's at home. And honestly, I was anticipating the Giants to score a lot less than 17 points.
I actually was too.
If I'm being completely honest with you.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be 40-something to 3.
And if I'm not mistaken, and we looked it up, even about his allegations, yeah, that's what I'm saying is I don't know what's going to happen with Antonio Brown. And honestly, the Patriots are going to be good with or without him. But
with them, I mean,
yeah, it's going to be nasty.
Damn.
Didn't we look this up where the Cowboys were two wins on the road?
They were
one win on the road?
Yeah, they had 1 win on the road last year.
And it probably came from the Redskins.
Yeah, but I mean, Case Keenum didn't look awful.
No, actually, I was surprised about that as well. That was one thing I was like, oh, okay.
And I've been saying for quite a while now, I think Case Keenum is better. Well, actually, I'll be honest with you. I didn't know Case Keenum was our quarterback.
Yeah, last week you were like, they don't have a quarterback.
Because I didn't think they did. I thought they were going to be like, hey, what's the closest high school?
Let's look at Case Keenum real quick. Case Keenum threw 30 for 44 with 380 yards and 3 touchdowns.
And no interceptions.
No interceptions. That's not bad. He did pretty good. I think the defense really slacked off there at the end for the Redskins, man. That's just too bad. I think the Redskins are probably going to be a little bit better of a team than they were last year, man. They shocked me last week. But can you pick the Dallas Cowboys over the Redskins right now after the way they looked? Let's see what the coin picks.
All right, let's see what the coin.
The coin is going to pick the Cowboys. Coin picks Dallas.
Oh. Ugh. I honestly don't know.
I'm going to take the Cowboys as much as I don't want to, and I know how bad they do on the road. And the Redskins, this is a trap game for us here.
I'm going to take the Redskins.
You're going to take the Redskins?
My gut tells me to take the Redskins.
My gut's telling me to take the Redskins too. I'm taking the Cowboys though. I'll take Dallas. And you take Washington?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's move right along.
I mean, in retrospect, from what the things are telling us, Washington does actually have a better defense than Dallas.
Yes. Yes, they do. But that's probably from the
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, whether that counts preseason
right
and all that, or if that was only based on 1 week.
They're ranked 25th, and the Cowboys are ranked 27th. That's league rankings.
Right.
And
even with Zeke
when it's
Elliott,
27,
they're
when it's 27
ranked 22nd
in rushing. Yeah.
With Zeke
Dak
Elliott.
Prescott went off last week. Yeah, I think he had 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, but other than having Eli Manning and Saquon Barkley, what do the Giants have?
Okay, fair enough. Okay, fair enough. But Saquon Barkley is a huge threat.
I'm not trying to take anything away from Saquon Barkley. That's why I said other than Eli Manning and Saquon Barkley.
Fair enough. All right. I like it. That's going to be a fun game to watch. I'm taking Dallas still.
All right.
The Titans came out swinging. And got a win last week. I don't think either of us picked them, and then the coin did. They played the Browns, and they won 43-13. The big old hyped up Browns, who have not won a opening
game since like 2004.
Yeah, won 18-1 since 2004. Something like that.
Something like that.
Crazy. Titans versus the Colts. And the Colts were impressive. We were already talking about that. I say no. I hope so. I'm just gonna come out here and say it. I think the Titans might be a different team this year. This might be a different Titans.
They went back to the Titans they were 2 years ago rather than last year.
Yeah, maybe. I'm gonna take Tennessee. And they're at home, so that's the only reason why I'd take them. If they were in Indianapolis, I would take Indianapolis. I'm taking Tennessee. Let's see what the coin takes. The coin's taking the home team, Tennessee.
Yeah, it's clean sweep. I'm taking Tennessee too.
Tennessee. I was impressed with Indianapolis. I thought they did pretty good, even though they lost. They did pretty good without Andrew Luck.
Yeah, see,
Marlon Mack had a good game.
that's the thing. The whole team did well, but you're still going to need a quarterback. And Jacoby Brissett, I'm convinced, is not the answer for the Colts. And I'm thinking that's going to catch up to them. And I think this week is going to be the one it catches up to them with. I know they lost, but I think that they're going to run into a much stiffer fight with the Titans in week 2 than they did with the Chargers in week 1.
I agree with that. They basically virtually split time of possession, same penalties. LA was 63% on third down efficiency, which is going to help. And that's probably on Jacoby Brissett's shoulders more than anybody else. They got 4 sacks on defense. And they got a fumble recovery, and they got an interception. The Colts defense seems promising just by looking at that. Came in late on the Hawks. Thoughts on the Hawks this weekend. We haven't really touched too much on it.
We're getting to it.
We're
working down the list.
Working down the list. But yeah, we got some things to talk about on the Seahawks for sure. So I'm taking Tennessee, you're taking Tennessee, and the coin's taking Tennessee.
Yep.
And speaking of the devil, here's the Seahawks and Steelers game. All right. My biggest thing with the Seahawks was, oh, look at that. Since 2000 and
beat them in 2015, but 2011, 2007,
and it didn't even score a point. I was listening to the radio. I don't know how accurate this is, but I heard on the radio today that the Seahawks going into Pittsburgh have not scored a single point since Warren Moon was the quarterback in 99 or 98 into Pittsburgh. The Seahawks secondary was very, very questionable.
Agreed.
But the Steelers looked like a hot mess. But I believe that the Steelers were just having a really bad game against a really, really good team.
Yeah.
I think the Seahawks played their game against Cincinnati. The Seahawks won the game that they play. And the only way it could have gone any better is if their secondary was playing a little bit more tight football. I'm not impressed with the secondary at all, but the rest of the team and maybe the O-line, I have some questions about. Some questions, not a lot, but some questions. But the rest of the team looks good to me. I like, he was passing the ball around. Russell Wilson got the ball out to multiple targets. DK Metcalf caught some balls, some really impressive balls.
Yeah, I mean, his first game.
Tyler Lockett only caught 1 touchdown on 1 target, and it was for a touchdown.
But it was for like 55 yards or something like that.
Right. Chris Carson ran the ball pretty well.
He did.
So I wouldn't be 100% shocked if the Steelers end up beating the Seahawks, just trying to redeem themselves for that mess that they had in New England. And the Seahawks don't have a really good track record in Pittsburgh. So this is specifically why I have questions about this game for the Seahawks. Because the Seahawks were, I think, a 2-score favorite. If not, they were like 9 points. A 9-point favorite against the Bengals.
And Andy Dalton teed off on them and had the best or second best
the
game
best
of
game
his
he's
career.
had passing ever. But the Seahawks, since the Pete Carroll era, anytime a quarterback has thrown over 400 yards on them, they're 8-0. including
That's
this
true.
game.
And the last time that the Seahawks saw the Steelers, Roethlisberger threw for like 415 yards,
And they won.
and they won.
Yeah. The Seahawks only allowed 34 yards rushing. James Conner might get shut down. That front seven looks great, but Ben Roethlisberger and Juju could burn them deep into the secondary.
Yeah. But you know what? That's two people. Well, that's one receiver.
One receiver.
They can cover one receiver. I mean, yeah, they can dink and dunk. I don't know. This is kind of a tough one.
This is a tough game to pick. Let's look at.
I'm gonna go with the Seahawks, though.
You're gonna go with the Seahawks. I'm honestly leaning more towards Pittsburgh, but I want them to win.
I am too, but I just when you count the Hawks out, they find a way to squeak out a win or this, that, and the other thing, and then after that Super Bowl, you know what? Screw the Patriots or the Steelers and the Patriots. Screw them too. Go with the Hawks. I don't care. I'll just spicy chicken wing.
Do you think that the Patriots defense was that good, or do you think that this was Pittsburgh?
No, I think Pittsburgh's offense was that bad.
Was that bad?
And
let's see what the coin picks.
Through no fault of Ben Roethlisberger, but
the coin's taking Pittsburgh.
All right, still taking the Hawks.
Eric's taking Seattle, and the coin's taking Pittsburgh. I have so many questions about the Seattle Seahawks secondary that it makes it difficult for me to take them in this game.
That's the only reason why it was tough to make that decision.
It is. It is. Everything else, I think the Seahawks. I mean,
no, I'm
maybe other than
I
their
wasn't
O-line.
saying that condescendingly.
Maybe other than their O-line. But I don't think that the Pittsburgh Steelers defense really did all that much to the Patriots.
No.
Points scored 33, fumbles lost 0, thrown interceptions. They only gave up 1 sack. They only got 1 sack, but that might be a tribute to how well the New England Patriots offensive line is compared to the Seattle Seahawks offensive line. I'm going to take Seattle also as against my better judgment. Honestly, I think this is a game that Seattle is probably going to tread lightly on, and Pittsburgh's going to come back and try to redeem themselves. But, yeah, I'm going to take Seattle. But if I'm betting and there's more than 7 points given to Pittsburgh, I'm not taking Seattle on that. Seattle's going to win by a score, maybe, if they win.
Oh, yeah, they're going to win by a field goal.
Yeah, probably.
It's going to be a close game.
This is going to be that's probably the toughest game we've picked this week.
Or they're going to lose by a field goal. I think it's going to be a competitive game.
All right, let's move right along. We got the Bills versus the Giants, and they're in the Middlelands. Give you the Bills. That didn't take long. I also will be taking Buffalo. You want to tell me why you're taking Buffalo?
Because the Giants have Eli Manning and Saquon Barkley.
And that's specifically it?
Yep.
Okay. This game was close between the Jets and the Bills, and the Bills ended up scoring 14 points in the fourth quarter and coming back and winning it. I really liked the effort by the Jets. That was a phenomenal game. I really enjoyed watching that one. I do believe that the Bills are, going to start really looking to Josh Allen throwing the ball a little bit more here. 37 attempts there. Yeah, he had 37 attempts last week. Beasley caught 5, Brown caught 7, he spread the ball around pretty well. I just think Josh Allen is going to start getting in a little groove here, and the Giants need to start figuring it out. The Bills do need another kicker, though. That's for sure. For sure, the Bills do. I will be taking the Bills on this one as well. Let's see who the coin's taking. The home team. All right. So they're not taking the Bills. They're taking the Giants. New York Giants. All right, moving right along. 49ers versus the Bengals. We're taking the 49ers.
Really?
Yeah. I think the 49ers defense looked a lot better than the Seahawks defense. Not on a front seven level, but in the backfield. And Andy Dalton aired it out, attacking the 49ers defense. And I believe, or the Seahawks defense, yes. And I believe that, damn, what was I going to say? I believe that Joe Mixon is injured, the running back for the Bengals. I believe Joe Mixon is injured. I put a little thing up there on our Facebook for it. So, sorry, derailed there. I'm taking the 49ers. Just pick Josh Brown, hoping for a big game. Yeah, I think John Brown. I think he's going to have a good one. Next week's going to be good for him. The Buffalo Bills. Watch out for that. Who are you picking? I'm taking the 49ers. Sorry, I got derailed. San Fran. You want to look at the numbers? Here's the numbers. There's no way in hell the Bengals will stay at second in passing.
No.
There's no way in hell they'll stay at fourth on defense.
Yeah, but they are getting some guys back.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any way in hell that the San Francisco is staying at eighth in defense either. Bah. Give me the Bengals, actually.
Give you the Bengals? All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Eric will get Cincy. Let's see what the coin takes.
I want to pick that Ginge, but
they're picking Cincy. Right? That's who's on the road? Or home? Yep.
Oh.
They get Cincy. All right. Let's move right along. Sorry. We have the Chargers versus the Lions. I don't even want to talk about this one. The Lions absolutely should have won that game last week.
Mm-hmm.
The Cardinals absolutely dropped the ball. Yeah, go ahead. You need to go to the bathroom? You look really antsy.
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
The Cardinals should not have even came close to tying this one. They gave up that timeout that was called by Darrell Bevell. Absolutely ruined the chances for the Detroit Lions getting a win there. And I just absolutely do not see the Chargers dropping the ball against the Lions, even if it is at home. And the Colts look really good. And the Chargers having a close game against the Colts, who were supposed to be Super Bowl contenders when Andrew Luck was still playing, should be a test to how well the team is overall and collectively. So give me the Chargers versus mostly anybody, honestly, but the Lions most definitely. They're not San Diego anymore. Excuse me. LAC. And then we'll get Eric's pick afterwards. But here comes the coin. Coin's coming. They get the visiting team. That's the Chargers. LAC. All right. So, again, if you guys are just tuning in, inside the description of our video, we have a donation, a charity event. Not really a charity event. It's more a link to a donation to the firefighting district of Okanagan. The district chief was burned very badly, and they have a GoFundMe set up. And all
It's not a GoFundMe. What we have in the description is the address
to where to send the donations.
Yeah,
for
to where it's. I think it's their headquarters. I'm not 100% sure.
Melvin Gordon is killing me also, but Austin Eckler looked great. Austin Eckler, love it. I also drafted Melvin Gordon in one of my multiple leagues, and I'm just bench riding him. I'm just going to bench ride him like I did Le'Veon Bell all season last year. So tell me who you're taking. I also have to use the bathroom. Let me know what you're thinking about the Chargers and Lions. And then if you finish before I'm back, go ahead and move on to the next game.
All right, sounds good.
Coin took the Chargers.
Coin took Chargers. I wasn't. I was actually very disappointed in what I saw out of the Lions, and I wasn't thrilled with what I saw out of the Chargers either. But as much as I don't want to, just based on last week's play, I'm going to go with the Chargers because I thought they played a better team and didn't tie. That's my thoughts on that. That's why I'm taking the Chargers over the Lions.
I like it. That's a good argument.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you can argue that Matt Patricia, not Matt Patricia. Jesus Christ, tip my tongue. Darrell Bevell screwed the Lions over, but taking one time out, if you're really going to win the game, you should be able to overcome that mistake.
This guy should know when and when not to call timeouts now, especially after the Super Bowl. That's all I'm saying.
I totally agree. But if your play is good,
you shouldn't worry about that one touchdown.
Yeah,
I agree.
That
the referees and the timeouts and all that stuff shouldn't be a factor. You should be playing harder football.
Right. What you put out on the field or don't, or what the other guy that puts out that's better than you, I mean, that's fine too.
I agree.
You know?
Tell us about the Vikings playing the Packers in Lambeau Field.
In Lambeau?
The Packers
Give me the Packers.
won against the Bears. It was a sloppy game. Boy, it was sloppy.
Yeah, it was.
And
but you know what? In Lambeau, give me Aaron Rodgers any day of the week.
No way, man. I'm taking the Vikings. I think the Bears are a better team than what they showed. And I don't think the Packers, other than their defense, their offense was horrid. And I think the Bears were just having a really off game. I'm definitely taking the Vikings on this one. And fun little fact for you, the Green Bay Packers head coach was the only one on his first season to start from the season all the way up to get a win this week. Everybody else Sorry, I'm having a little. Whew.
Heartburn.
Yeah. Everybody else ended up losing. So LaFleur, only winner. I'm taking the Vikings.
I'm taking the Packers just because of what you said and that Packers defense.
Packers defense looked great.
And, you know, it's not pretty. And we saw that in, what, 3 Super Bowls ago? Defenses do indeed win championships. I'm not saying the Packers are winning, you know, Lombardi, but I think because of the defense, they're winning this game.
Kirk Cousins looked good, and I don't know if it was the Falcons having a really rough day, or the Vikings having a good defensive night or whatever. They only gave up 12 points in the fourth quarter, and then they scored all 28 before the fourth quarter, so they never really had a chance to catch back up.
Well, they did because they were also on the field, but
okay, fair enough. Dalvin Cook went off. 21 carries, 111 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 5.3 average. So Kirk Cousins didn't do a whole lot, but when he was throwing the ball, he went 8 of 10.
Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback.
For sure. For sure. And Adam Thielen caught that, ran right into the touchdown. I am most definitely taking the Vikings, and I think Dalvin Cook is going to demolish this Packers defense. I'm taking the Vikings.
I disagree with you on that.
All right, we'll see. Let's see what the coin takes. Visiting team, who dat? I think that's the Vikings.
Yep.
It is the Vikings. Vikings. All right. Moving right along.
Green
Bay. Jaguars in Houston. Wow. I think the Houston and New Orleans Saints game was the
nuts.
Best game.
I totally agree. That was the
week.
best game of the entire week.
By far and away. Deshaun Watson, wow, man.
I freaking told you, man. I freaking told you.
Deshaun Watson.
Go back. Watch that. I called that shit. Deshaun Watson is going to go off this year. Give me Houston.
Yeah.
Give me freaking Houston.
Deshaun Watson looked great. He looked awesome.
And that connection with Hopkins.
Ooh.
Dirty.
No, even Fuller looked good.
Ooh.
Fuller looked good.
My dude.
Yeah. Yo.
Give me the Texans.
I didn't actually mind seeing Duke Johnson behind the line. He did really good, like getting those screen passes. Great addition to the Houston, backfield. Miller, if Lamar Miller was back there still and he hadn't torn his ACL, man, the Houston Texans probably would have made an amazing run this season. They looked great against the Saints.
Right, that had to happen.
And if it wasn't the Saints, the Houston Texans definitely would have been winning that game. Drew Brees and Lutz clutch on that one.
Right.
When I saw that there was still 37 seconds left on the clock, I was like, oh no, you gave too much time for Drew Brees.
Yeah.
No.
You can't give Drew Brees that much time.
No,
I mean,
37 seconds.
You got to give him a Hail
timeout.
Mary.
And one timeout. Timeout. Man, what a game. That was phenomenal. And that's why I'm taking Houston. Jacksonville, just didn't really impress me that much last week. I honestly can't even really remember too much other than Gardner Minshew being in there and playing as well as he did. They played the Chiefs. That's why. I forgot. Sorry. But Gardner, who has film on Gardner Minshew anyway? You know what I mean? Other than watching him in Wazoo for the 1 year.
And Alabama for a year.
You think they were studying Gardner Minshew?
Or, I'm sorry, not Alabama, but
Do you think the
Yeah,
Chiefs
but
were studying Gardner
he worked
Minshew?
his way
No.
through the SEC
Yeah.
and then ended up in WSU and then just teed off because the Pac-10, or I'm sorry, the Pac-12. I grew up with the Pac-10, so
Oh, yeah.
it's always been the
understand.
Pac-10 to
I
me.
understand.
It always be the Pac-10. The Pac-12 is freaking garbage. Okay, I don't pay attention to college football, and I fucking know. Sorry, I freaking know that the Pac-10, 12, 14, 24 is garbage.
Oh, man. What I was saying was, do you
But it was
think,
fun to watch him,
for sure,
and he did good. And nothing but luck for the guy.
do you think that the Chiefs were watching any kind of film on Gardner
What
Minshew?
film is there?
No, that's what I'm
There's
saying.
nothing.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's the reason why Gardner Minshew did as well as he did.
I don't think so.
I think so.
No, I think so because I think Gardner Minshew is actually that accurate of a passer.
I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying they didn't know what to expect from him.
I mean, that definitely played a part, but I'm thinking that Gardner
I'm still taking
Minshew,
Houston. I'm just,
I know, but I think he's going to be another one of those quarterbacks like Deshaun Watson that people overlook because he bounced through schools in college and did okay on a shitty team. But if you go back to last year and look at Deshaun Watson's numbers, just his numbers, he did phenomenal.
absolutely
last year.
for sure.
And I think if you go back at the end of this year or the end of next year and look at Gardner Minshew's numbers over a year or two in the NFL, you're going to say the same thing.
I don't know if I don't know how long Nick Foles is going to be out.
I don't either.
Couple weeks at least because he broke something like in his shoulder, his collarbone. Was it his collarbone?
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers was out for what, like 6 to 8 weeks because of that? I can't remember.
Something like that, yeah.
It's not a season-ending career or a season-ending injury. We'll probably see Nick Foles again, but do you think Gardner is going to do well enough through the entirety of the absence of Nick Foles?
What, to take him to the playoffs?
No. That's not what I'm saying. No, but well enough that if needed be, Gardner Minshew went to another team that he could be a starting on a team with a no named quarterback. Would you take Gardner Minshew over Jacoby Brissett?
Well, I've only seen
One
Minshew
game?
for one NFL game.
Yeah. I'm just asking you, man.
But
I think it's fun to talk about.
If I was, say, a Dolphins,
You're taking Gardner Minshew over Ryan Fitzpatrick?
at least for a backup,
Okay, fair enough.
I would if I was the Jaguars, I would look seriously at a trade with the Dolphins for draft picks for Minshew to back up Fitzpatrick. And then a already solid quarterback gets some experience behind not the greatest, but a pretty good NFL quarterback. And let's also not forget, Dolphins history, that Dan Marino won Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And lost.
Yeah.
And he's still regarded as one of the best quarterbacks ever.
I like it. Let's see what the coin takes. Was it in Houston? I'll have to check. Visiting team. Nope, they're taking the Jags. Coin takes the Jags. All right, so New England versus the Dolphins.
New England.
Yeah, I'm not even going to discuss
Yes.
this. I'm not even going to talk
No
about it. They're taking the visiting team, which is New England as well. Let's just move right along from that.
Done.
Oakland Raiders versus the Chiefs.
Give me the Chiefs.
I'm also taking the Chiefs. As good as Oakland looked, man, they're not competing with the Chiefs yet.
Not yet. Close.
Not yet, but they looked good. They looked good.
They did look good, but you can't dink and dunk over the Chiefs.
And you can't take away from the fact that the Broncos are a hot mess. I love Joe Flacco. I think Joe Flacco has a lot of potential.
Yeah.
He's been a good quarterback before. He just
Yep.
needs to get plugged back into the right system, and I don't think the Broncos are it. Man alive. Let's find out what's going on here. They're taking the Chiefs as well. KC. All right, moving right along. Those were two really easy picks. Saints versus the Rams. And it's in Los Angeles.
You know what? Give me the Saints.
I'm taking the Saints, and they want redemption for the NFC Championship game. And I don't think for 1 second the way that the Panthers played against the Rams, that the Rams are the caliber of team that they were last year. I don't think this is going to be as close as everybody thinks it is.
I don't either, because I think with all and
there were so many one-year contracts.
Exactly.
1-year contracts for the Rams. They brought a lot of people back. I agree with that. I get it. But, dude.
They're also missing a lot of people, too.
This Rams team is not the same they were last year.
I think they're missing just enough people. And, I'm not going to get into the rep thing, but whatever. I think that they're missing just enough people. And I think the Saints are just going to come in there and they're going to be like flop, and just mollywop it.
Yeah, they're gonna stomp the Rams. Visiting team takes the Saints. All right, Bears, Broncos. Give me the Bears.
Give me the Bears too.
Give me the Bears. I don't know what to think of the Broncos yet, but I'm not impressed. And I think the Bears just had a rough day. I think the Bears just had a rough day. I agree with
that. I know people are going to give me crap about this, but, Mitch Trubisky, man. He was one of my quarterbacks to watch. He's still one of my quarterbacks to watch. He can do better than what he did.
Most definitely. I agree with that. They're also taking the Bears. Chi-town, Chi-town, Chi-town. Easy sweep. We've had 3 straight sweeps, 4 straight sweeps. 1, 2, 3.
Damn.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, we've had 4 straight sweeps. Crazy. Eagles, Falcons in
Eagles.
Atlanta.
Give me the Eagles.
Okay. The Eagles and the Falcons both had a rough time last week. The Eagles won, but they've really had a rough time against Washington.
Yep.
I don't know, man. I'm going to take the Falcons on this one. It's in Atlanta. I'm going to take Atlanta.
I think they're embarrassed enough that it took them that long and that much effort to beat a team that should have been easily beatable. I mean, that should have been Browns 2 seasons ago. I mean, I've always liked Casey Keenum way more than anybody else. But Carson Wentz should have come out there and been like, hey, this is my time to shine. I don't have Nick Foles to back me up. He should have just been like, hey, I'm the frickin' man. He didn't do that. until the fourth quarter. But when he did, he
He
did.
did. I agree with that.
And I think that momentum, he was just shaking off the cobwebs in the first three, and now he's going to tee off unless he gets injured. Then, yeah, definitely not the Eagles.
Give me the Falcons at home. I think they're going to try and look back at what they did wrong and make the corrections from last week.
I don't think they have anything to make corrections with.
I think they do.
Is another big problems I have with Atlanta.
I think the Vikings are a very, very strong team, though it was at home. It was in Minnesota. Yeah, I'm taking the Falcons. I think they're going to bounce back, and I don't think the Eagles looked as well as they did playing against the Redskins. Man, okay, all right. Let's see what the coin takes. They took Atlanta. I flipped it while you were talking. Sorry. Browns, Jets. Trying to get through this because we've been pushing time.
Oh, yeah.
I'm taking New York.
I'm taking the Browns.
I figured as much. I liked how the battle back and forth. It was a close game between the Bills and the Jets, and it wasn't a close game between the Bills and the Jets, and it wasn't a close game between the Browns and the Titans.
See, I'm not going with that. I think that, yes, the Browns have been overhyped, but I don't think they've been so overhyped that they're going to get shut down like they did last week.
I don't think they're going to get shut down. I think the Jets are going to win by maybe 10 points at the most. But I think the Jets are a better team than what everybody's giving them credit for.
I think this is going to be another one, just like the Seahawks Steelers, that one team or the other is going to win by a field goal.
Okay. All right. Let's see what the coin takes. Coin's taking home team. Jets it is. All right, guys. We've been on the air for quite a bit of time now. I think that's about our time. Yep.
Don't we have a couple more picks? Or is that
No, that's it. That was it. Yeah, I was trying to run through it. That's it.
Oh, okay. Nice.
That's it.
Oh, yeah. Browns, yes. Yeah, duh. Sorry, guys.
No, that's all good. So, tell us about the Okanagan firefighter again one more time.
So, Assistant Fire Chief Christian Johnson was severely burned in fighting a wildfire in southeastern Washington, or central eastern Washington. And the last information I had, he was still at Harborview. So if you have anything to give at all, we have, the address is North Cascades Bank, P.O. Box 672, Okanagan, Washington, 98840. And if you can make your checks payable to the Christian Johnson donation account, the whole department and his family, friends, everything would appreciate that. And these are volunteer firefighters. There is no pension. There is no safety net for these guys. So this is all on his dime. And maybe the department may be able to cover a little bit, but not much. They need your help.
Yeah, they need people's help. We even use a Washington State Fire and Rescue Training Academy coin for the coin flip. And I wasn't going to say anything, but it is September 11th. So, those firefighters and policemen that went through everything on September 11th, this is the perfect time to do donations for this type of a thing. So
And if you live in Washington, I mean, this is a perfect opportunity, like Nick said. I mean, this is, not to play in your emotions, but the perfect time to give to firefighters. And if not, give to this guy. There are plenty of other accounts out there for the men and women who were first responders
for the
9/11 events.
Yeah. So
do a little bit of research.
This doesn't do anything for us, guys. We just want to support these guys. They need help. So
absolutely.
Anybody can, please go help them. The information's in the description.
And if you don't want to give to this guy, please do a little bit of research and research, the many other accounts and places to donate for the men and women that did all that work on September 11th and
give back.
Yeah.
Give back.
Sorry.
All right. All right, guys. So, thanks for watching. It was a good episode. Great long one. We look forward to talking to you guys again next week. Go check out our Facebook page. Go check out our Twitter. Go check out our Instagram. Game Changer stuff as well. Go check out Tabby's Coffee. Everett Library. Go get some coffee. Tell them Talking Affairs Sports sent you. And go Seahawks.
Go Hawks. Have a good week.
Bye, guys.